This is the Bluetti EL200 V2 power station. It's one of their latest. Let's find out what you get in the box. Let's find out what its features are, and then let's use it and see what it's like. Packaging's pretty good. It's like a game of Russian dolls. Inside a box, you get another box in which there's another box. At least they're getting smaller. Now finally we get to the product. This is the Elite 200 from Bluetti. It's on sale now, I believe. Let's go through its features. 360 by 320 by 250. 24 kilos. Front panel features. Charging input is on the front this time, not hidden in the back. That's an interesting choice. I kind of like it, especially if you're putting it on a car seat or something. Cables aren't going to be pinched. Then you've got your 12 volt DC output. That'll run your car fridge. Along with that, you've got two USB-Cs, both rated at 100 watts each, and you've got two USB-As, both rated at 15 watts each. Then you've got three buttons. You've got your main on-off switch, you've got your DC on-off switch, and then you've got your AC on-off switch. In terms of alternating current, you've got two standard wall outlets. In Australia, of course, these are 240 volt. These are rated at 10 amps. So you're not going to be able to run 15 amp appliances off this unit. Neither should you. Now, as far as the accessories go, it's pretty simple really. You've got a set of charging cables that will plug into a PV array or solar panels. They come standard with it. And you've got a standard wall charging mount that goes in the back so you can charge this at home before you leave. That's it. Now at the moment I've got the Bluetti charging off some 160 watt panels, and you can see that the cord is long enough to keep the Bluetti in the shade and the panels in the sun, which is ideal. Now the 160s are propped up on a couple of bits of firewood to roughly face the sun, and you can see they're only making about 90 watts of power in the late afternoon. Charging via solar panels does take longer. However, this Bluetti will take up to 1,000 watts of combined charge from up to 2 sets of solar panels via its adapter cables. So it's quite versatile out of the box, allowing you, without having to buy more gear, to connect 2 arrays of panels to it straight away. The front panel's really easy to understand at a glance too. You've got DC input and output, AC input and output. You've also got its current charge and estimated number of hours till full charge on its current input. Well, that's all the fun and games concluded. We took it back to the test bench, plugged it into the mains, and it took just over an hour to charge to full capacity. Now it's time for the carefully designed, managed and measured testing, where basically I plug in a heap of stuff and try and make it go bang. We'll start out easy on the little Bluetti. Let's plug in a USB-C drone. Then let's plug in the other USB-C port connected to this laptop. Now we've got both of them charging, and you can see that there's a little bit of draw on the front dashboard. After that, let's go to the USB-A ports. First, we've got a high capacity torch. We'll plug that in. Then we've got your standard trope of a mobile phone. Okay, that's all of the DC output ports pulling on this device, and you can see we're only pulling about 70 watts of power, so I think this is well up to coping with it. Next we're going to use the AC ports, and for that we turn them on and plug in the grinder. That's pulling a few more watts. It runs that fine. So now let's plug in the saw. No dramas. Now let's put both of them under working load. That's all right. That's all right. What about together? I love my job. Well, since it's got this far, we can't stop now. Let's see about doing some welding. So far, so good. Well, aside from me blowing a hole in the steel, the little battery will run a MIG welder on a reasonable setting. This would be get you out of trouble if you're in a car and you want to repair a broken spring or something like that. But for most off-grid DIY jobs, like welding on a gate hinge or something like that, it's got the guts. And around the home, it's pretty useful too. It'll do things like run this refrigerator with the door open, which is handy if you have teenagers. But if you can manage to close the door, it should last you more than 20 hours running the fridge. So if you are prone to blackouts, one of these is good around the house as well. Speaking of around the home, the little Bluetti comes with quite a sophisticated app. So it's perfect if you've got a small cabin or something and you want to go off grid. It does all the usual stuff, like allowing you to turn this on and off remotely, turn on and off individual power points and monitor the battery charge, but it also does quite complex things like calculate power savings if you've plugged it into your PV system on the home and you want to use it for saving some money. So this is an appliance that you will use on a daily basis, not just when you're camping. With over 2,000 watt hours capacity and a maximum output of 2,600 watts, it's probably not going to let you down. If you like this kind of stuff, don't forget, hit the little subscribe button and I'll see you next week for another review. I'm keeping this.